Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Well, when I saw that the Jewish Family and Children's Services are paying volunteers, I said, wait a minute, that's not what volunteers, they're supposed to be volunteering. How do they get paid? So we invited some wonderful people from, and I'm going to do this correct, it's the AmeriCorps. Nancy Frent is the AmeriCorps director, and DONI GREENBLATT is the he has an MSW, and he's director of the Enhanced Companion Program at the Alpert Jewish Family and Children's Service. I hope I got that right. Big, long stuff, but everyone will remember you as Nancy and Donnie. So, who came up with this idea? And I don't know who wants to talk first.
Well, I will.
Okay.
AmeriCorps actually started during the Clinton administration, and it was originally for 18 to 25-year-olds who would work in the community, and they would be engaged in the community, and they would earn educational vouchers to go to college.
Great.
They worked full-time. About 15 years ago, AmeriCorps recognized, wow, we have a wave of baby boomers that are going to be retiring. They wanted to tap into that generation, and they created a program where these seniors would give back to the community in a slightly different way. They would provide respite or relief to caregivers. Jewish Family Service is now starting our 15th year of AmeriCorps, and one of the reasons that we were chosen for this program was that we already had in place a respite program where our companions were providing relief to the caregivers, and they would transport the clients to doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, help with errands, and the very big piece is providing socialization.
We know that keeps people in their homes and out of the institution. So, Donnie, how do you fit into all this?
I fit
except being so cute.
Thank you. I fit in. I make the match, work with making the match between the clients that we serve, the seniors in our community that are homebound and isolated and need the assistance to get out, with the companions, with the volunteers that we have, by doing a psychosocial clinical assessment with the seniors that we have in our community that are homebound and need this assistance, to understand what their needs are, to get a good grasp of what they're struggling with, then take that information and I match it with these volunteer companions, and I put them together to fill that void in the client's life that we serve in our community.
And it's funny, Donnie, that we know people who are social workers, but a lot of people don't know what that means, and you just described it so well. And why did you want to become a social worker? I'm always interested in people and where that happened.
I'm a people person, and I want to be with people. I want to help people, and I want to be in the helping people profession.
Yeah, and you're in it now, too, because as we know, as a gerontologist, I know that the aging population is aging and aging. In fact, it's interesting. It used to be they were aging and they were into 70s and 80s, and now they're in 90s. And I've had doctors on my radio show who are operating on people 95, 98. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have a very big population. You're going to need a lot of volunteers. Yes. So actually, what should somebody do if, Nancy, if they are listening and they want to become a volunteer?
Well, they can give me a call, and we need to know that they're really interested in giving back to the community. We use seniors they really make a difference in the lives of the clients.
So they have to be enthusiastic. Let's give some of the characteristics of a person.
Well, they have to be enthusiastic. They have to be caring. They have to be patient. They have to be good listeners, empathic, and really just really want to make a difference in their lives and provide a positive impact. They really brighten the day for the clients, because for many people, it's the only person they see all week.
So they go to their homes.
They go to their homes.
And they drive them, as you said.
Yes.
They take them if they want to go to the grocery store, but they take them to a movie.
Absolutely. It's client-driven, so anything that they want to do, the AmeriCorps companions will do with them. We don't do any hands-on care. We're not home health aides, but
Your friend aides.
We say that the companions are like their friends.
Yes.
They don't wear uniforms, so a lot of the clients appreciate that they're not going out with somebody in a uniform. When they're in the store, it looks like they're with their friend.
Well, I think that not only people want to volunteer, other kind of people want to get involved who need that help. So I'm going to give a phone number, and then they can talk to you. Year-round, you can call Nancy at 561-238-0235. Again, remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio, so it's 561-238-0235. But know that the training, if you want to be a volunteer, training starts October the 2nd. So relax in the summer and get ready October the 2nd. Now, Donnie, let me ask you, so as a social worker, it takes a lot for you to look at someone and say, well, are they going to be good or not going to be good? And they'll be very disappointed. But do you fit them into different situations depending on their personality, or is it all one thing?
No, 100%. The personality is a big factor in making this match, making the connection between the companion and the client. We spend a lot of time with the client, as I said, getting their needs, knowing the client, knowing their personality, as well as we spend a lot of time with those volunteers, with our companions, in terms of getting to know them, understand what their personality is like, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. And we take that all into consideration. So when we make the connection between our clients that we serve and these volunteers and these companions, it really is a win-win situation for both the client that we serve and the companions that are doing it.
So how many social workers like you are there doing this? Because you couldn't do it for all of them.
No.
There are a lot, right?
There are a lot of social workers, yes.
It's really a team effort. And even in the training, we involve a lot of our staff, the executive director, the clinical director. We do 40 hours of training for the companions. And we do a lot of kind of mixer exercises to develop a sense of camaraderie, because AmeriCorps really stresses that you're part of the team. We want them to know that they're part of not only Jewish Family Service, but the larger organization, AmeriCorps. So they're well trained, and they have extensive background checks.
And I've done sensitivity training for probably hundreds of HMOs and organizations. I hope you involve sensitivity training as far as their hearing, their vision, their body. Do you have something that you do with that?
We have, part of our training, we had someone come in from the Lighthouse from the Blind and talk about vision impairment. And we also work with a lot of Holocaust survivors, so we have training about how to deal with the special issues that a Holocaust survivor might be going through. We also deal with a lot of cognitive impairments, so we have people from the Alzheimer's Association.
That's excellent.
Train individuals about Alzheimer's
because
and
people
dementia.
have no idea. When you see, unfortunately, a lot of the people who really need this training are the younger adults of their parents. Yeah. I see things that are just, and you mix there with the personality of, it's too close almost. It's their mother, it's their father, it's their grandmother, and they need a lot of that training. But we try to do that through a lot of articles in our magazine and on our radio shows. But you have to really love the older adults. That's kind of why I got into it, and I can see both of you with the gleam in your eye. So this was a godsend for you to be able to have this happen, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, because we were able to expand our existing enhanced companion programs, service more clients, provide service in areas that normally we wouldn't have been able to.
What does a person who's receiving this, how do they pay for this?
It is a fee-for-service program. The going rate is $18 an hour, which is comparable to most home health care companies and agencies out there.
And how many hours do they have to sign
minimum
up
of
for?
2 for the client, minimum of 2 hours.
Really?
So, yes.
2 hours, and they're going to get someone that's going to take them places. Mm-hmm. Is that a week or just?
They could do 2 hours a week. Yes.
Oh, that is wonderful. I think people need to know about this. And your volunteers then, when they come, they have the responsibility for those 2 hours. Do you probably send the same person back?
Yes.
Hopefully,
yes.
It's about,
unless they don't like each other.
So they develop a relationship.
We tell it to be ongoing and commitment. It's not an on-demand program that if you need me one time to take you to the doctors, that's not going to happen. The best result is when it's ongoing and commitment. Each time, same time each week, so they developed a relationship. It's about the camaraderie and the companionship that they will benefit from.
I'm going to give a phone number again. It's really important. Now, the training for the volunteers, if you're listening, and you want to be a volunteer, starts October the 2nd, but you have to call Nancy at 561-238-0235. That's 561-238-0235. And if you haven't heard of the Jewish Family and Children's Services, in fact, I should say it's the Fred and Gladys Alpert, right? Those are the people who have really spent, they're sponsoring your organization, which is really important. People write a check and they feel good about it. So I always want to do that. It's Ferd and Gladys Alpert, the Jewish Family and Children's Services, GFCS, right? JFCS. Is that what I? JFCS. So here's the program where volunteers will get paid. Now, you talked about them being very young. Is there an age of volunteers?
Well, our volunteers are seniors. This is really, it's a unique program because it's a peer model. It's a seniors helping seniors program. And our companions are anywhere from their 50s through their 80s.
Sure. As long as they're driving, because nowadays people are so young. I mean,
So they're young at heart because they're active retirees that really want to give back to the community.
So what you're doing is really helping two people. You're helping the volunteer.
Absolutely.
Besides with the money, you're helping that volunteer to know that he or she is still valuable. And you're helping a person who really needs somebody to care about them, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And there's so many studies that have shown how the benefits of volunteering, that people are less depressed and they're more active and more involved in their community. So it, as Donnie said before, it really is a win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah, and I'm glad that this has happened. Maybe they will, I don't know how much they're funding you, but hopefully they funded you enough for it to go on, and because I hope it doesn't stop.
We've already been funded for this year, so this is
excellent.
Our 15th year, and we're very excited. We have 70 slots. We're the largest of all the 16. There's 16 programs throughout the United States. So we're very thrilled that we were refunded. And
you know why, of course, because you've probably shown very good results. You're good. That's why you don't get refunded if you haven't proven that it really works. And it'd be wonderful to talk to some of the people, someone who's a volunteer and someone who is actually a recipient. That would really show, and I'm sure that's all part of your system.
Yes.
Because that's what you work for. So, as a social worker, Donnie, what would you like to see changed for our older population? We don't have an hour, and I know if you went into an hour, but what is a highlight for you that you think we could maybe do in society to make a difference for that older adult who we will then be? It's for ourselves, actually.
Just to the resources that will be available that we could access in terms of, this program, they benefit from this program, but in terms of the main reason why, because there's a lack of resources for transportation for the elderly. Once they lose their ability to drive, they become shut in and they stay inside and they become socially isolated. So, which picks up, our program picks up that gap in services. But if there was resources out there, community-wide, statewide, that they could help with the transportation so they could get them out and lead their regular lives that they were used to doing when they had a car and able to get out and go out and about.
Now, you have programs there at your center that they could actually come, even if they didn't have a volunteer helping them, don't you?
Yes. The Alpert Jewish Family and Children's Services has about 30 programs that help from individuals from child to geriatrics.
Okay.
And our programs are open to the entire community, not just to Jewish people.
I understand that. That's right. That's what's wonderful about the Jewish Family and Children's Services. They've always been like that. Thank you very much. We've loved having you. And good luck with your program.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Thank you.